All right. Good afternoon, Precious. How are you doing today?
Very well, Miss Sam. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. All right. So I've got your resume here in front of me. You're interested in a couple of openings of mine. You have got a fantastic administrative background, billing background, sales, customer service. You really hit the nail on the head as far as experience across the board, but longevity at every employer that you've worked at. So tell me a little bit about yourself to get started. And let's actually start with, what does your availability look like as far as work goes? Are you open to in-office work, and what are your, hours of availability?
Absolutely. So, 28 years old, customer service background, just as you mentioned before. My availability completely open, honestly. Looking for overtime hours, things like that, completely open. I'm just definitely super motivated to make as much money as possible, to be completely honest with you. So, definitely availability with that. Scheduling, open to that as well.
All right, fantastic. Let's jump into your administrative background. You worked for the city of Lake Mary for 2 years. Tell me a little bit about that role as far as what your day-to-day duties, what you're responsible for, as far as maybe like, I don't know, handling billing or banking or filing or anything like that. Tell me some of your administrative background.
Absolutely. So with the city of Lake Mary, I was in control of all of our recreation departments. So we scheduled all of our recreation programs, the holiday bids, things like that. We submitted all types of different invoices. We had the ability to actually, and the responsibility to go in, create those contracts, file those contracts, and that's with the city. Create all those permits, things like that. So it was definitely an administrative paper pushing role, but we also had face-to-face with all of our customers as well with the finance department. I did help with the billing there. So we were able to do all of those reports, pull all of those numbers from the meters, the water meters within the city. So it's a lot that went into it, but it was a lot of more of an administrative role.
All right, fantastic. And I do actually want to point out, and then we're going to kind of circle back to your customer service and sales experience. You were a 911 dispatcher for 3 years, which I like to point out to my customers because I'm sure that they are aware of how fast paced that is and how high stress that is. Tell me a little bit about that position. I mean, we understand, what you were dealing with, but how did you maintain, your level of, keeping it cool when you're in such a high stress and fast paced environment like that?
Absolutely. So just as you mentioned, it's something always happening at every time. I think the long training actually helped with that as well. We went over about 9 months of just training to actually see if you're fit for the job. So you definitely have to master the calmness. You don't let what's going on around you just kind of affect you. And you're the person who's getting paid to be in control. So you learn how to take control of the situation, get as much information as needed, and remain calm, because that's the worst thing to actually do is panic when the other person on the phone is panicking as well.
Wow, that's really impressive. I can't imagine being in that seat. Something a little bit more light and heart. Tell us a little bit about your experience. It looks like you worked at AT&T for quite some time as well.
Yes, so that was actually a sales and customer service role with AT&T. That was in a call center, so it's a high volume call center. We took multiple calls, whether it was to do with billing, their actual cell phone account itself. We did cross sellings with other different products as well. It was just pretty much customer oriented. Whatever the question the customer had, I was the go-to person to make sure that I found that answer for them.
Wonderful. And Precious, what would you say at this point in your career is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
So the biggest thing that I'm looking for right now is security in every area, whether it be financial, just work-life balance, things like that. I'm looking for that security longevity-wise. It's, I do have a pretty impressive and various background, but I'm actually looking for something where I'm able to lock in, grow with the company, and just be a part of that next phase in life.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording and chat with you a little bit more about our openings, if that sounds good to you.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.